Oh, snap. I screwed it up. Hold on. Pretend you don't see my face, guys. Hold on.
With so many patterns, colors, and
Oh
sizes
my
to choose
God.
from, you'll want a shag rug in every room. Pile height measures thickness and comfort. Higher pile shags are perfect for bedrooms. Shags also reduce noise, making your home calmer. Shop thousands of shag rugs on Wayfair.com.
Well, you heard that, guys. Wayfair.com. Free advertisements. Alright, guys. I don't know if anybody's in here yet. What the hell? Hold on, guys. Oh. Oh. There we go. Had to pause myself on there. I was like, yo, where the hell is that coming from? Wait, is my voice still deep? You guys let me know if the voice is still deep. Is it still messed up? Oh, damn, what's going on? Hold on. Something happened then. Yikes. Why is it doing that? I'm gonna try taking it out and putting it back in. Hold on. How about now, guys? How about now? Still deep? I'll try listening in with my phone. Dang it, why is it every time That's better? Are you sure? A little better. Let's see here. Let me listen into my own stream here. My own stream doesn't even pop up. Assigned to my gaming account. Way better? Are you guys sure? Let's hear this. Oh yeah, okay, it's good. It's probably one of my outlets messed up. Well, okay, guys. Sorry. That was a terrible start. I had the whole plan and everything to start well and things like that. But welcome into the show, guys. We're gonna be talking some sports with you guys, of course. Welcome to KB Sports Talk. Now, what's going on, Visions? Yes, I did see you in the stream. I did see you in UCF Jaguars stream. But what's going on, guys? I was supposed to start off with putting the thumbnail up like this, and then kind of start talking, and then boom. But things, I don't know what happened. But what's going on, guys? So we don't have. I'm gonna rely on you guys basically today because yes, there's not really much going on right now. Are you gonna call people again? Well, they're going to call me, Turtho. That's what's gonna happen today. They are going to call me. I'm going to make sure this is muted here. But we are going to have a call-in show today. I don't know if this is going to be a slow day. I don't know what's going to happen today just because there's not much news going on right now. But I want to get you guys' input on a lot of things. And so first topic, really, we're going to talk about Cameron Moore. This kind of, I guess, got to the, I know because it's a domestic violence story, but this kind of got to like mainstream news and stuff like that for the NFL and things like that. A lot of media outlets talking about Cameron Moore and the whole domestic violence issue. And to be honest, I mean, yes, he's a nobody, but this, I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive, but I mean, this happens, man. It happens. It happens to celebrities. It happens to football players. It happens to basketball players. It happens to normal people. Okay, and it's unfortunate and it's terrible. I sucks that he would do that, and shame on him for doing that. And he's a disgusting human being, honestly. And not only is he suspended, I think he got suspended for a couple games. You guys let me know. Was it like, how many games was he suspended, or was he like the whole year? I don't know. But turns out he beat a woman. I think it was his spouse, and he got suspended from the league. But the Giants are not going to keep Cameron Moore around. Not only is he not a good player, he's done nothing in OTAs and minicamp so far. So best believe he's on his way out. Our safety core is already pretty much set. So he's not really challenging anybody, or, anybody's going to miss him anytime soon. So, what's going on, Alex Sports? What's going on, Turtho, Borden, Arrow, Visions, Mike Nixon? Sorry I didn't say hi to you guys beforehand, but make sure you guys hit that like button for me. I thought it was apparently fabricated. No, man, this story is definitely not fabricated, but, I don't think anybody would really fabricate this story. Unless the woman was trying to get somewhere, make some money. But it's Cameron Moore. He's not even a big star, so I think it's real. But gotta love the Kool-Aid. Powerade, Kool-Aid. You didn't miss too much, Justin. We're just talking about Cameron Moore and the nonsense that he did. It's a slow day today. We might not get too many callers, maybe 2 or 3. But if anybody wants to call in, you guys can. I'll put the number up in just a second. But if you guys already know the number, please don't call it just yet, please. As I just wanted to talk a little bit before we get into it. Also, if you guys want to talk about, this is something I've really been thinking about a lot as of late, and that is the 18-game season for the NFL. That, NFL proposing an 18-game season. I want to know you guys' thoughts on it. Talk to us, chat. Yeah, I am. Are you talking about the chat? But the whole 18-game season thing, I made a video. If you guys haven't checked it out already, make sure you guys check that out, about me covering the 18-game season and what the NFL proposed and what the requirements are and what are all the rules implied with it. And it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't on board with the 18-game season at first. That's when, I don't know, a year ago they were talking about that. I wasn't on board with it at first. But when they proposed this and news got out, I was like, now it's getting interesting. Now it's not just, hey, we want 18 games and we want to eliminate 2 preseason games. As you guys know, in the 1970s, it used to be, I think, 6 preseason games and 14 games. And then that's when we had our 16-game season with 4 preseason games. So, I guess they're trying to, repeat history in that sort of respect and try to get rid of 2 more games to add 2 more to the regular season, which I'm very mixed. Because I think preseason games are a necessity. I think at least 3 preseason games are a necessity. 4 is a little bit pushing it. I think 3 is a necessity because you need 2 games for these guys to develop, at least 2, and then the third game would definitely be the dress rehearsal for the offense. Of course, they may play half the game or maybe a quarter or a quarter and a half, but at least they'll have a dress rehearsal so that when the regular season starts, they'll be just a little bit more adjusted, better than what practice would give them. And, being in a real environment, in a real stadium with real fans there and, another team besides them. I think 3 preseason games would be okay if we had the 18-game season. And I also think we should add another bye week and make it a 20-week season instead of having 19 weeks with 17 games. No, with 18 games and 1 bye week. Why not just make it a 20-week season with 18 games and 2 bye weeks? So, let's go Giants. Somebody wanted a shout out. I'll give you a shout out, man. Why not? Shout out to my man Christian Nazi in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. CP, I don't want to repeat, but all I'm concerned with are the players in need of dire development might not get a shot to do just that. But here's the thing, CP. It works both ways. If they're good enough to make it onto the active roster, they have 2 games to show what they can do, because those starters have to sit. Now, here's the thing I propose. They never specified if it was every single player in the NFL, because there are special teams. There's like depth cornerbacks that play but only on special teams. Does that count as a game? Can they only play 16 games like that? Because if so, if the bench players have to sit, who's going to fill in for the bench players? So here's my proposition, and I want you guys to listen carefully. Here's my proposition. Wait, never mind. I'm all for 18 games then. That will allow rookies to get a lot better. Yes. Here's the proposition. The bench players, anybody third string and down, so if you're on the third team offense or third team defense, whatever it is, down, you are allowed to play in every single game that your coach puts you in. Okay? And everybody second string and up, that's when that rule applies to you for the 16 player game limit. Here's the thing. I am not a accountant. I am not a businessman, but that is going to interfere with contracts. Why is that? Because they get paid with a signing bonus, and then they get paid per game. So say a depth player, right? Say a depth player who was on third string, and he had a contract basically that stretches through 18 games because he was signed as a depth player, and a starter gets hurt. He gets bumped on to the second string, and he plays well. How does that contract play out then? How will he get paid? That's the thing that businessmen need to deal with, that I am not going to try to sit here and lie to you guys. I'm going to know how to deal with it. But that's going to be a problem they run into there, because not only do they get paid with a signing bonus, they get paid by game as well. So that might be a problem in the future. So that's my proposition there. That wasn't mentioned, but I would want to say third string and down get to play all 18 games, and second string and up, then the 16 game limit applies to you, just because you're on the field more, you have more risk for injury, so it would only seem more, I don't know, realistic to have it like that. Also, they kind of touched on this a little bit, but I don't know if it's final. I thought that, they're in the talks of it, but quarterbacks, so special teams for sure, kickers, punters, and special teams players like maybe gunners. I don't know if gunners are included, but they said long snappers, just long snappers. So I don't know if that means the whole special teams offensive line or just long snappers. But the protected players, meaning players that are under rule are protected specifically to that position. You look at quarterbacks, you look at long snappers, you look at kickers and punters. These guys may be able to play all 18 games. Now, the NFLPA may approve of this only for the special teams guys, like the kickers, punters, and long snappers, but they may take a little convincing with the quarterbacks, just because the majority of crazy injuries we've seen in the NFL are from quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are just not as built and structured in a way a defensive lineman is or a running back is, guys like that. So that may take a little convincing from the NFLPA, but it could work. So if you guys have any questions, or let's have a discussion almost, everybody that wants to talk about it, especially for you guys that are calling in, let's talk about the 18-game season if you want to, of course, if that interests you in any way. We could talk about how this could work and any roadblocks that we may run into. Let's talk about it. Let's try to figure things out as a collective, and maybe we'll be the reasons why the NFL changes. So who knows? But let's get onto the chat here before I open up the phone lines. I'm not on board with it. They should put themselves in their fans' position. What if you wasted all your money just to see your favorite player? Okay, here's the thing, King Justin. Here's the thing. That already happens, okay? That already happens if a player gets hurt. Yes, that is involuntary absence. I get that. That is involuntary absence, but that already happens when a player gets hurt. If a player gets hurt in the first play of the game, and the only reason why you came to the game is to see, I don't know, Victor Cruz in that Eagles game. The only reason why you wanted to see that game and go to that game was for Victor Cruz, and he gets hurt. He's gone. Now what? Is that the NFL's fault? No. Yes, it's involuntary absence, but it's the same deal. You think about players' jerseys as well. You look at, I said it in my video, the Los Angeles Chargers, and they had two star players that are almost top 10, if not top 5 at their respective positions, change their jersey numbers on the same team. So you got to, meaning Joey Bosa and Melvin Gordon. Okay, number 99 going to 97, and number 28 going to 25. Okay, those jerseys gotta be somewhere around $200. But if you're paying for those high price ones, I don't know how much the high range jerseys are. Probably upward around $350, right? The really high class ones. If I'm not mistaken, you guys let me know. But think about you buying that jersey, both of them. Okay, that's the cost of, like, I don't know, 10 nosebleed seats at a stadium, right? You bought both of those jerseys. They're on the same team. Somebody's got to have those jerseys. Somebody's got to have both of those guys' jerseys. And they changed their number at the same damn time. This season, they're going into the season with a new number. You wasted your money on that. So now what? Right? Now what? Is that the NFL's fault? No, it's not. So that's an analogy I wanted to put up there. You know, you are going to, sure, you want to go to the game to see a certain player. Okay, that's not the NFL's fault. I mean, if a player gets hurt, I'm sorry. You know, if a player has to be benched because of a suspension, sorry. You know, if there's a last-minute scratch, sorry. It happens in the NFL all the time. We don't see a player on the field. We're wondering what the hell is going on. Is that the NFL's fault? Should there be fines involved? Should we change the rules? No. So, I mean, if that's how the NFL will work, then that's how the NFL will work. But, I know they probably won't put a system out there saying that you have to lock in those players before the game starts, because obviously teams want to have the strategic advantage of who to throw in last minute and who not to, just so the other team has a hard time game planning against that. And that's another thing, man. It's going to bring a lot of different things to see during football, because when you're watching film, you're expecting to see those players there. Imagine those players not being in there anymore, and they changed up how the offense is played, how the defense lines up. I mean, it just brings a whole different dynamic to the NFL. Why would you not want to see that? I get everybody's concerns about it, but why would you not want to see a change in the NFL where strategic brains are involved, where a coach has to manage, you know, playing off, you know, who to throw in, who to not to throw in, who to game plan for, and things like that. So, I hate to see Cruz go down like that. Yeah, me too, man. But I was trying to think of a very iconic type of injury. Victor Cruz's injury like shook the world, shook the NFL world. So I may have to get me another Powerade. But all right, guys. Let's get into it. We're gonna do this. Please. Last time I did this last week, my computer like crashed and it didn't allow any more Skype calls. So if you guys want to call in, please. If I pick up a call, just kindly hang up. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm not gonna be, you know, so strict about it. Like, hey, 217, hang up. You know. But just, you know, for the sake of the stream and the sake of my computer and the sake of, you know, having this stream still running, I'm going to ask that if you see me with a caller, or if I pick up a call, please hang up. Don't have the call in. This is what this show is. I'm gonna do a little call in, and then, you know, if nobody calls in, then we'll just keep talking. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to take my desktop audio off, and then I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to put the number up. So if you guys want to call in, that is the number. You guys could go ahead and call in. I got Vietnam flashbacks after you mentioned that game. I know, man. I know. I watched that game live too, man. Yo, KB, do you have a team to root for during the college playoff, or do you just like watch in general? I'm a Boise State fan, but I mean, I'm not a huge Boise State fan. All right, guys, first caller, 267. Let's pick this up. What is going on, man?
What's going on, Kid Blue? It's your boy Mike Nixon here.
What's going on, Mike Nixon?
What's good, my boy? How you been, bro?
I'm good, man. Just, you know, over here just trying to trying to pretty much burn time until football starts, man. I'm trying to keep myself busy. I'm trying to keep myself busy.
I feel you. I mean, there's a little bit of good news. There's quite a few teams that actually start their training camps tomorrow.
Really?
I mean, it's rookies and whatnot, but
Yeah.
But yeah, like Baltimore starts tomorrow. Obviously, Denver starts tomorrow because they got to get ready for the Hall of Fame game.
Oh yeah.
I think Atlanta starts tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Thursday. But you got quite a few teams that start like this week with their camps.
Yeah, I just can't wait till the Giants start, man. I can't wait to start covering that and see who really see this roster, shape into what it's gonna be. We really don't know. There's so much competition. Like, if you guys don't, you guys must follow Chris, the Entertainer Talking Sports. He's doing that series right now on his channel with competitions on the roster. It's really good. And there's just so much competition on this roster. I can't wait to see how it's going to shape up. The cornerbacks, the safeties, the wide receivers. I mean, so many players that can make this roster. We have so much talent. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it, man. Can't wait.
So I just had a couple. Well, it's basically the same question. But how do you feel about the whole Ezekiel Elliott and Melvin Gordon situation?
To be honest, I've never been in a position where I could make that kind of money, so I couldn't be. I couldn't even.
No, I know.
Yeah. I couldn't even begin to try to
feel for them.
Yeah. Or try to cover for them or defend them or even go against them because who knows, if I was in a position to make that money, if there was an opportunity to make that money, maybe I would sit out too. Who knows? But
right.
But to be
I
honest,
hear you.
If they deserve the money, Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, he deserves the money. I mean, all jokes aside, him being a Dallas Cowboy and everything, I mean, the dude is literally the whole offense. I mean, the reason why Dak Prescott is Dak Prescott, the reason why he's even known around the league, yes, he's a decent
is because of Zeke.
Because of Zeke. If there was no running game like that, if that offensive line wasn't as potent and the running game wasn't so great, Dak wouldn't be in the position he is now. I honestly think they don't even make the playoffs. I don't even think they're gonna be relevant without Ezekiel Elliott. Yes, you got that defense there, but a defense can only do so much if there's no offense.
Exactly.
As far as Ezekiel Elliott goes, I mean, he deserves to be the highest paid running back in the league. Do I think he's the best running back in the league? No, but the market calls for it. If your contract is up and you are the best running back by the end of contract talks, by the end of free agency, you should be paid the highest. So as far as Melvin Gordon goes, though, I think he should also do what he has to do, try to get paid. But he doesn't have the same type of resume, right? He struggled in the beginning of his years with injuries and consistency, but since then he's been a real solid running back for the Chargers. Coming out the draft, I really thought Melvin Gordon was going to be better than Todd Gurley, but that wound up not being the case. But he's still a solid running back. Do I think he should be paid? Absolutely. Do I think the Chargers will pay him? I don't know, because if you watch Chargers games, no matter what running back they throw in there, they actually do pretty well. So I don't know if they really want to throw in his money, and maybe they'll want to trade him or whatever it is. Maybe he'll demand a trade. But as far as him deserving money, absolutely. I don't think he should be paid as one of the best in the league. I think he should, a few contracts down, a few decimal points down. But so definitely, Melvin Gordon definitely needs to get paid, man. Definitely.
This is my perspective on it. So I respect everybody's perspective. This is my perspective of it. Like, obviously, yes, they both deserve to get paid. Obviously, like, Melvin Gordon not top dollar, but Zeke, you can obviously argue, he should be paid as a top running back right now because obviously Saquon can't get paid yet. He has to finish out closer to his deal, and by the time Saquon's up, he'll be probably the top highest paid.
Yeah.
But this is my thing. It's almost like I feel almost as like a selfish move on their part to miss out on all that, miss out on camp, miss out on your reps,
Yep.
and everything.
That, yeah.
It's almost like a kick in the gut to your teammates. Like in a way, like obviously you deserve to get paid, but in a way, it's almost like a selfish move because you're losing out on quality reps, and you're a main component to your team's success.
Exactly. I mean, haven't people understand what happened with Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh? His offensive linemen wound up resenting him. They did not. They wanted him gone after him holding out so long.
Exactly.
They felt so offended because they're blocking for him. You know, he's making his money because they're blocking for him. You know, they're opening up the holes for him to run through and get all those touchdowns and things like that. So, I mean, they have to think about that, man. If they hold out, they cannot hold out any longer. There are players that always threaten this type of stuff, and they wind up coming back anyway. Le'Veon Bell was one of the few to not do that, but it's not advisable, man, for Melvin Gordon and Ezekiel Elliott to do that, because any team that looks at you as a free agent, they're just gonna pull the plug. They're not even gonna try. Like
it's like how I know you're not gonna. It's like how I know you're not gonna do that next time your contract's up if we sign you.
Exactly my point. And
that's why I got so much respect for Julio, because he straight out said, I'm not holding out. I'm going to come to camp. And look, pretty soon, probably within the first 2 or 3 weeks of training camp, Julio's going to get his money.
Yeah.
Because he's coming and putting in the work. If you want the money, go. Obviously, we all know you deserve it. Just go out there and work your butt off and show management.
Exactly. Why don't you be a good employee? Why do you have to be a rebellious one? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean,
even go back to Odell. I mean, he didn't hold out when it came time to him. He came and he got paid.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we traded him and stuff, but still, he still showed up and still said, "I'm going to show up," and I guarantee I'm going to show up, and he did.
Yeah, and if you think about it,
and that's why I got respect for him too. And I'll follow Odell anywhere he goes. Like, Odell's my favorite receiver in the league. So I'm going to continue to follow him throughout his career, and I hope he succeeds. I ain't going to be like all them. I've had Giants fans like around where I live. Well, I hope he fails, and that's why are you going to hope the man to fail? It's at the end of the day, it's just a business decision. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think people are just more upset at Odell for his comments afterward. Now, I'm not gonna blow it out of proportion and say, he's just trying to, stir trouble with the Giants. Yeah, he's a little bit of a chatterbox. We all know that's Odell. He's a little sassy. He's a little petty. So I mean, he got his shots out to the Giants, and hey, Dave Gettleman did the same thing right after the draft. He said he wanted to clean up the locker room and things like that, and he was going to get rid of players and things like. So he was obviously throwing a shot at Odell there, but I mean, as far as Odell goes, he does what he has to do. I mean, his teammates love him. His teammates absolutely love him. Nobody has a problem with Odell. It's just, I don't know. I think it's the Giants fans are just used to classiness, right? We're all used to, especially the old school Giants fans are used to the class. The Giants are one of the most respected, classiest organizations in the NFL, and having a player like that is just unheard of. You see these type of players with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys, a bunch of other teams around the league. The Seattle Seahawks, there are a bunch of loudmouths over there, so it's really never really happened to the Giants like Odell did. So I think that's where the criticism comes from. Nobody really had a player like that wearing, royal blue.
And see, the most of that is, I think, is because of the win. Like, I think it's just his passion. Like, it's his passion for the game. The guy hates losing, and you cannot blame him for that. You can't blame. I think that's where most of it comes from. Is just his emotion because they're losing and they're not succeeding.
Yeah, and if you think about it too, you just
gotta respect that.
You gotta think Odell has always had this bottled up inside of him, that he wants to, he hates losing, and he hates seeing everybody around him just getting used to losing. He wants to see better play from the offense. He wants to win. I mean, he really didn't come out and start getting frustrated until what is it, third or fourth season in the league. Yes, he had his fits on the sideline, but that was just inner frustration of that he just wants to win. But then it started as a backlash to the Giants. Around when he left, around his last season with the Giants, he's just had so much frustration. It's not like he didn't have the class to, as soon as he got in the league his rookie season, he was just saying, the Eli, what is wrong with you, and Jerry Reese this and Jerry Reese that, and Ben McAdoo and Tom Coughlin and things like that. He bottled it up, and it just came to a point where he just had to explode. So. I mean, that's what happened there with Odell.
Yeah. Well, other than that, man, I just can't wait for football. I'm just so hyped. Monday training camp starts, and I tell all my friends I'm gonna be glued on my phone watching NFL Network for every single day on my phone watching inside training camp, just seeing all the insights, watch a little bit of their practices, see how they're looking and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Then pretty soon it's going to be preseason.
Yeah, football is almost here, man. Football is almost here.
Yeah.
I
guess we can talk a little bit about the 18-game season too, and my perspective on it.
Oh yeah, go ahead and give your thoughts.
At first, I'm still in the mix. I'm still in the mixed bag of it, because you make up some great points. It's just now I think to myself, are these stars really going to want to sit out, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing. I get that point completely. The stars, a top wide receiver wants to play in every single game possible, especially if there's an opportunity where, a big matchup is coming along, like a star wide receiver and a star cornerback. I'm sure that wide receiver wants the challenge, and what if he's benched that day, So, I want to shout out Zach Bruce, Brian Rodriguez. What's going on? Thank you guys for joining in. Devon Shea, thank you guys for joining in. Sam Dog as well. But yeah, man.
Because think about it. So I remember in your video saying, obviously, the top notch matchups and whatnot. Those stars are going to play and stuff. But sometimes on your schedule, you have multiple games that could be top notch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now it's now you gotta pick. Now I gotta pick out of what marquee match I want to sit out of, and it sucks.
Yeah, and on top of that, I don't know how they're gonna do it. That's something that also needs to be put in discussion. Will the players have a say in what games they want to sit out in? Or is it just a front office decision? If it's just a front office decision and there's no type of player interaction with that, there is going to be an immense amount of backlash. I completely understand, because the players are going to start to feel like they're being used, or they're being mistreated and all this stuff. And I know that's going to happen, because that's just what happens in any type of employee and boss situation. And we'll see it in the NFL sooner or later if that happens. But,
I've also had, coming talking the 18-game schedule, I've also thought of different concepts of how to kind of improve on the football. And I thought of an option. There's been people mix bags with it and stuff, but with the wild card, I think a really cool concept would be obviously from the divisions that make the playoffs. 5 through 8, because sometimes you get a couple teams that finish 9-7 or even 10-6 that miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was thinking that 5 through 8. You have it's almost like a wild card type thing, but it's maybe a little bit of an extension to the playoffs. You have 2 playing games, a 5 versus 8, 6 versus 7, and them 2 teams are the final 2 teams that make it to the playoffs, and then you have your wild card divisional, and then the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting to think about. I don't think anybody's really thought about that. So you're saying 8 seeds in each conference?
Yeah, like 8 seeds in each conference, but that like 5 through 8, like the next week, like after whatever. I guess if you do the 18-game season, that next week you have 2 playing games, and then that right there fills in your final 2 spots, like down to 6.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting that you said that. Because every year in each conference, there's always a team. I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was 2014, 2015, the Jets went like 11-5 with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall, and they missed out on the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. And that's one of the first things that came to my mind when I thought about that.
11-5 they went in 2013, 2014, something like that. Or 2015, I don't know, but
that way you get rid of the tiebreakers. Who had the better conference record? Who had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have 8 seeds, and then final 4 right there. They battle out in 2 playing games, and there you have your final 2 spots set after that.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's actually a very
now obviously some concern to that would be, that's just going to maybe affect more injuries and stuff, which I can understand. I don't want to seem like a dick because I hate injuries, but when you play football, you take that risk. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't want to seem like a dick because I hate injuries, but when you play football, you sign up to play football. That's the risk you got to take. It's like there's risk and there's reward in everything that you making the decision for. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
I just feel like it'd be something new to add to the NFL, and I feel like it'd be an exciting concept.
Yeah. I hope. I would wish that the NFL comes up with some kind of plan like that instead of the regular season. Have it an extension of the playoffs. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. But
and even like the overtime rule, that something has to be done there too.
Oh yeah, for sure. They have been adjusting it over the years.
But
I forgot how it goes.
I think they just need to go to the college rule, but instead of going to the 25-yard line, just start them at midfield.
Yeah.
Just start them at midfield, and then obviously everybody gets 2 possessions, and if there's a continue, then you continue until you have a clear-cut winner.
Yeah.
Even like you can, somebody had mentioned before, like get the kickers more involved. Like you can start at like the 35-yard line or 25-yard line, and you can battle it out. 2 kickers battle it out. One, you hit it, you move back until last person makes it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know if I would be on board with that one because I want it to be a team collective. But I mean, you bring up a lot of interesting points, man. You do. But anything else you want to throw out there before we get to more callers?
No, that's about it. I'll let the other callers call in and stuff, and just keep up the great work with your content, man. I can talk football with you for hours, bro. Like,
yeah, I know, man. You are definitely one of my favorite. I don't want to have any favoritism, but you, sir, is you're one of my favorite callers. Call in, my first caller to ever call in on the show, and the first today as well. So I appreciate you, man. Everybody, that is Mike Nixon. Make sure you guys show him some love in the chat. All right, Mike. I'll see you later, man.
You too, bro. Have a good one.
I see you. All right, guys. So the number is there. Jay Zach, what's going on, my friend? I saw you in there. Brian, a couple guys in there. Sorry if I didn't see you. All right, someone's calling in. All right, thank you for calling in. Who's this?
This is Sam Dog, the infamous 253 from Seattle. How you doing, Kid Blue?
What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much. Been wanting to try to get in here for a while and get in contact with you. I'm a diehard Seahawks fan from Seattle and have a YouTube channel as well. My channel, Sam Dog, the infamous 253. Feel free to hit it up. I want to talk some football with you.
What's going on?
You going to any training camps for the Giants?
What's that?
Going to any training camp days when it comes up?
Oh no, I live in Florida now, man. I can't go to any training camp games. I wish I can. I wish I can.
Yeah.
I would definitely love that.
Yeah, I was thinking you might have been one of those in New York, but it's still cool. And, I mean, who are you excited about, man? Because obviously for my team, I got the first training camp down the 25th. I know my team, I'm anxious Seahawks-wise to watch the receiving core that we got with, obviously, we drafted Metcalf, Gary Jennings, and John Ursua. For my Seahawks...
I want to stop you right there, my friend. I am so jealous that you guys got Gary Jennings. Do you guys know he was one of my favorite wide receivers in this draft last year? I thought he was an absolute steal, and I was so pissed off that you guys got Gary Jennings and you guys have Metcalf as well. But yeah, keep going, man. I'm so jealous of you guys for that.
Yeah, I was right behind Cliff Averill when he announced the pick at this draft party in Seattle, and I was doing my video for it too at the final day at the final draft party. And I got the draft card of Gary Jennings on my YouTube video that day, too. Really? So it was pretty cool being around that. And then, obviously, I mean, I'm hoping Metcalf is working a bit on his route running. He's been working out with Russell, with the other receivers down in California, down in San Diego or Los Angeles, because every summer in the offseason, Russell Wilson takes the receivers down to go work out in nice. California every summer. So it's pretty cool to see that. But other than that, how is Daniel Jones looking so far in the training camp with you guys? I mean, not that we hit the camp yet. I mean, working with, because it looks like my former guy, Golden Tate's been pretty excited about what he can bring to your Giants table.
Oh, yeah. Daniel Jones, and I don't want to sound like a homer. I don't want to sound like one of those, homer fans that are just going to pump up their team in any kind of way. But to be quite honest with you, Daniel Jones has been looking like the best quarterback in minicamp and OTA so far. I can't wait to see what he's going to do in training camp. But as of right now, he's throwing tight spirals. He's making good decisions. Of course, you have those, rookie mistakes and interceptions and bobbled balls and things like that you're going to get in a rookie quarterback. But Daniel Jones is actually playing like a first-round draft pick. I mean, I'm excited of just that because I think every Giants fan or everybody pretty much thought that Daniel Jones was going to be a complete bust and he wasn't going to be worth a first-round pick. And to be honest, I thought the same thing. But he's definitely giving me a run for my money right now, and I'm definitely excited to see what he's going to do in training camp and the preseason. But I'm excited about Daniel Jones, man. I'm excited.
When you look back at it, you kind of got to think back to when the Bears shocked everyone and traded up to draft Mitchell Trubisky from North Carolina in 2017, and everybody thought that he was going to be a bust, and he got booed at a Chicago Bulls game, and then obviously Daniel Jones got booed at a Yankees game. But then you saw with Trubisky how he showed his stuff in preseason and eventually won the starting job with his quick throws and his accuracy, and now everybody in Chicago loves him. So, and I was talking to the entertainer talking sports, Chris up in New York, another Giants fan like yourself, about could there possibly be a repeat scenario with what happened with Trubisky that could possibly happen with Daniel Jones with the Giants?
To be honest, I'm not quite sure yet. See, Mitch Trubisky was pretty much just thrown in there because Mitch Trubisky just had Mike Glennon to really deal with, and Mike Glennon isn't really much of a good quarterback anyway in his rookie season. So Mitch Trubisky was pretty much handed the job there. It's going to be much more difficult for Daniel Jones just because of the relationship that Eli has with the organization. So I don't know if Daniel Jones is really going to get his role and his time to shine as Mitch Trubisky did. But I don't know, man. I would have to see what happens in training camp in the preseason to really have a opinion on if Daniel Jones is going to succeed in the league or not, because he still has a lot to prove. I like what I see so far, but he still has a lot to prove, man. I'm still not sold on him completely being our franchise quarterback yet, but I'm sticking behind him. He's our next quarterback, and that's just what we have to do as fans. But to answer your question, it'll have to be to be later answered by the training camp and preseason, what we see there.
The eye test determines everything. Now, there's one thing I look at preseason as, and I got this from my dad. See, I've been a season ticket holder since 2004 with the Seahawks, so I've been around since we had Sean Alexander running the ball and obviously Walter Jones on our offensive line, but never really assume anything until you know what you got. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that will assume going to the playoffs or hell, don't even assume a Super Bowl, but I just wait until to know what we got. Preseason is the biggest part of it all because that's when you get to see the product on the field, and that's why me and my dad call it the eye test. So the eye test will show who's all going to be good and who's all going to be bad, and we don't know what we got until then. So that's just the one part I'm anxious to see. I mean, training camp be cool to watch, see how some players might look, but where it really counts is when we see the full product on in the preseason, and that's what's most important of it all is, you know, when that time comes to know what we all got.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I love the preseason, man. A lot of people are saying they don't like the preseason. They don't know why it's around. I mean, doesn't any fan want to know how their roster is formed? You know, all these young players that are trying to make it in the league and, you know, having to fight adversity and make it to the top. Why do people not want to see the preseason? I think it's extremely underrated.
Because you don't know what anybody's got until they show it off in there, and that's why I like watching it that way, you know, to know who could possibly take a starting job or who could take away a starting job, even with the quarterback situation. But, you know, that's just the greatest thing of all is why we all love it, you know, for football coming up and for the upcoming regular season. It's just so freaking awesome. And other than that, who do you think will be a surprise team this year coming out of, non-playoff team? Who do you think could surprise this year in the league?
From all NFL or like NFC, AFC? What do you think?
All
NFL. Okay. Oh, man. Some underrated teams. Let's see here. Listen, the Bills can do a lot. The Bills can do a lot if Josh Allen develops, right?
That's what I was going to say. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen showed some potential, but he got off to a bit of a rocky start with the injuries. But he's got the arm, he's got the legs. I mean, you saw it when he hurdled Anthony Barr in that blowout against the Vikings in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I've seen that. Mm-hmm.
What I saw out of that is that kid has some potential. I'm kind of anxious to see what he does in year number 2 in the league. So that will be something to watch, too. So I definitely got the Bills as an underrated team and could possibly shine. And they also got him a couple more weapons at receiver. Now, the offensive line was a big question, too, with him. And because of how many sacks they also gave up, too. But I was curious of whether or not they would build some offensive line around him. They got one of the Oklahoma linemen that protected for both Mayfield and Kyler Murray this past season, too. So there's that. And then they also got him Cole Beasley, the former Cowboy, and then John Brown, the former Arizona Cardinal and Baltimore Ravens. So a couple of weapons to go with that, too.
Yeah, they fixed up that team a lot. Now, I'm really, really excited about their offensive line. I really am. They totally revamped their offensive line. I'm not too happy about Deion Dawkins still there at left tackle. I know they got Cody Ford, but Cody Ford is more, he played right tackle in college, so I don't imagine him at left tackle. But, you know, Mitch Morse, or Spencer Long, and they got somebody else as well. I can't put Quentin Spain. So they really revamped that offensive line. The wide receivers, yes, they got more weapons, but is there a true number one there? Not really, but I think that defense could really, really take them somewhere. I don't know about playoff race, but they're definitely going to win more games than we expect next season.
Probably another sleeper, definitely. I mean, depending. I'm going to wait to see what they really bring, but possibly maybe Cleveland. You know,
Cleveland. Yeah, I think Cleveland has. I'm gonna flat out say I think Cleveland's winning the AFC North. I'm really not sold on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been the biggest fraud in the NFL for the past 10 years. I don't think they're that much of a good team. I think there was only a slight bit of players that made the Pittsburgh Steelers good, and now that most of those players are gone, I'm just gonna rely on the Browns right now to really make this playoff push in the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens are okay. They lost a ton of players. The Baltimore Ravens lost, especially on the defense.
But they got Earl Thomas from my Seahawks.
Yes,
they got my Earl team Thomas, has to play the AFC North this year. My team has to play the AFC North this year. The NFC West plays the AFC North this year, so I'm going to get a true, real look at that division this year.
Oh yeah, you will. And to be honest, you're not. It's not going to be that challenging. I don't think so. Especially from the Seattle Seahawks point of view, I think literally the only team that's going to give you a hard time is going to be the Browns. I mean, you look at the Steelers right now. They're completely inconsistent. That team is just in turmoil right now. They can't do anything right. The Bengals, they're okay. I don't think they're as bad as their record showed last year, being that, you know, they had a bunch of injuries happen. I don't think they're not terrible, but they're not good.
We play the Bengals week 1. The only thing
it's a
I'm
W,
concerned
man.
myself
That's a W.
The only thing I concern myself this year with the Seahawks is we kind of took a little step back on defense, where we traded Frank Clark to the Kansas City Chiefs for a few more draft picks, including a second rounder in next year's draft. I mean, we signed Ziggy Ansah, which the real question is, can Ziggy Ansah, can he stay healthy and, be a top-notch pass rusher again? Because the last time we signed a pass rusher from the Detroit Lions, a former pass rusher, was 2013 when we signed Cliff Averill, who I mentioned I was, when he announced the draft pick for the Seahawks to get Gary Jennings. And Cliff Averill had that immediate impact. And then, of course, there's a secondary where also in our secondary, we lost, obviously, Justin Coleman went over to the Detroit Lions to reunite with Matt Patricia from who he had in New England. And, I mean, there's a lot of question marks about our secondary, especially with Earl going to Baltimore and him having to come back to Seattle to play us. So, I mean, and then we drafted Marquise Blair out of Utah, who was a hard-hitting safety and could get interceptions. So I'm anxious to see what he'll bring to the Seahawks secondary, and can he be like what Cam Chancellor was in his prime with us when he would just lower the boom, and and of course, like old flashes of possibly Earl Thomas, but I see him more like a Cam Chancellor where he can just blow up receivers, and, receivers would be scared to come his way.
Yeah, before I get to the next caller, I want to ask you a question now, Sam Dog, about the Seattle Seahawks. Now, they've been the talk of the NFL right after the playoffs because, I mean, nobody expected your team to really make a playoff push and actually be a threat in the playoffs, and they did just that. What do you think about the Seahawks going into next season? Because they lost a lot of players over the past couple of years. They're trying to fill in as much spots as they can, and it just seems like when they patch one hole, another hole opens up from another side. So, I mean, what are your takes on your team this season?
Well, my take on it is just take it one game at a time, see what we got in this year and how we rebuilt, and go from there, and whatever happens, happens. That's the only way I could really look at it. I mean, I didn't think we were going to be a playoff team last year. And then we got your guys' old O-line coach, Mike Solari, because our O-line in 2017 was really, really bad because we fired Tom Cable, and then we added Mike Solari, your guys' former guy, and brought in DJ Fluker, who had an immediate impact on our running game.
Yeah,
I mean,
great.
Dwayne Brown even said we ran the ball like too many times. Like, an entertainer told me we ran like 53% of the time. So...
Whew.
But we had an immediate impact on our run game with Chris Carson. I'm anxious to see what Rashad Penny does in year number 2 behind it. I just hope our running game can still be impactful. Hopefully the defense can make another step with all the changes. Maybe, hopefully, LJ Collier will have an effect. But other than that, just one game at a time. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm excited to get back to CenturyLink for the games. And before I go, you already know my channel. My channel is Sam Dog, the infamous 253. And so I've been subbed to you for a pretty long time. So if you get a chance, sub my channel up if you get a chance. And that goes to all the other people viewing. I appreciate everyone who comes up. I'm close to 500 subs.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. All right, everybody, let's get Sam Dong to 500 subs, man. Make sure you guys go ahead and type in the chat so people could subscribe to you. But make sure you guys subscribe to my guy Sam Dog.
Sam Dog, the infamous 253. Do not forget the second G.
Don't forget the second G, guys. All right, Sam Dog. Right. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you having me on. And my ending for what I say for most of my videos is, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous.
All right, man. See ya.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. See ya. Hey, man. That's a real fan right there. That's a real fan right there. That is a real fan. What's going on, Jay Zach? I haven't heard of you in a while, my friend. I see you entertaining that chat over there. But, got another caller coming in. Waiting for that call to pop up. Come on, call. Pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up. Alright, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Kid Blue?
What's going on?
King Justin here. King Justin, remember?
Oh, King Justin, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's going on? I'm good, man. So, right now I want to shift the attention to the NBA because I think, I don't really have much to say about the NFL right now, so...
All right, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so right away, I just want to ask you, what team do you think is the best in LA? Like the Clippers or the Lakers?
That's an interesting question. And I want to follow through with something. I don't like Stephen A. Smith. Okay, I don't think anybody likes Stephen A. Smith. I think he's entertaining. But
Don't be blasphemous.
if they're blasphemous. But if there's one thing that Stephen A. knows about, I think it's basketball. I think he knows basketball a lot more than football. So I trust his word on basketball, and I agree with him in his statement. The Clippers have the better team, but LeBron and Anthony Davis are the better duo. So, yes.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, the Lakers have the better duo, but at the same time, it's a team effort. I really don't know if LeBron's going to be able to carry that team. Yes, LeBron and Anthony Davis are great. I just don't know if they're going to be able to carry that team with how much firepower is in the West right now. Like, there's not just one super team anymore. There's it's like every team is a super team now.
You got the Rockets now with them just getting Harden and Westbrook. You got obviously the Clippers too. Mm-hmm. You got the Trailblazers too.
Yeah, they're great.
Don't sleep on them.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams in the West, man. I just don't know if the Lakers have the depth for that, man. Like when they traded for Anthony Davis, I think they had like 5 players on their roster or something like that. They filled it in.
Yeah.
They made some decent signings since then. And they're keeping Rajon Rondo. So I mean, they've got a team around them. They're for sure should be in the playoff race and should make it far. I just don't know if they're going to be winning a championship this year. I think I would give the Clippers a better chance for that. So if that answers your question, I feel like the Clippers are the better team right now.
Like imagine this, right? Mm-hmm. You're an NBA player, and you have Kawhi Leonard on you, and then Paul George switches on you. And then Patrick Beverly switches on.
Exactly.
You. All three are defensive
All
monsters.
3 play defense, man. All 3 play defense.
Exactly.
How do you get away from that?
Yeah. How do you get away from that? And not to mention Lou Williams, who could pull up from anywhere on the court.
Yep. Lou Williams.
Yeah. You got a couple of good bench players too. So yeah, I think the Lakers are good, but I just think how do you beat the Clippers right now?
Exactly.
I think
I'm trying to figure that out, man. I'm over here trying to do some math equations, man. How do you beat the Clippers?
Yeah, how do you beat a team like that? So many players that could play on both sides of the court. Mm-hmm.
Especially you think about, and here's the thing. Right now, I think the better duo is LeBron and AD, right? But you're talking about Kawhi Leonard, who literally just won a championship, and it was pretty much the reason why they won that championship. And then you're bringing in Paul George, who had an MVP-like season last year. I mean, they might challenge LeBron and AD for being the better duo by the season's end, you know? Not only do they have the better team, but they might even challenge to be the better duo.
Yeah, I mean, don't sleep on Paul George. He's not one to play with. I'm telling you, man. Exactly. He's not one to play with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah. Also, so me personally, I'm a Bucks fan, so I'm hoping that they come out of the East. But I just want to know who you think's coming out of the East, because right now, I want them to come out of the East, but I don't know. Philadelphia is looking stacked right now, man. Philly's looking good right now, but do they have any shooters? I don't see any shooters on that team. Your starting point guard never made a 3. Never made a 3-pointer.
Ben Simmons has attempted 20 3-pointers, and they're all hoist at the end of the shot clock.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Simmons he's afraid to even shoot a 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can't.
Yeah,
he can't. But the Sixers are definitely gonna make. They're gonna be back in it. Did they get better? Possibly, but they're really relying on, playing the ball in the paint and playing with the big men, because Ben Simmons, Embiid, and Horford are just gonna be inside the paint in that area. So I don't know if they're gonna have any shooters on that team.
Yeah, that's what I'm most scared about, because Giannis, he scores most of his points inside the paint, and if you have Embiid or Al Horford, remember that series where it was like the Boston versus Milwaukee game 1. Al Horford was locking Giannis down. Remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like that defense is just terrifying, man.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Yeah. I mean, unless Giannis comes back with a jump shot,
Oh,
I think
my God, if he does that.
I think Philly's gonna come out of the East. No, but I think he will come back with a jump shot because like Giannis actually cares.
Yeah.
He actually like he's definitely gonna come back with a jump shot. Like it's more than just like, oh, I'm gonna make a big bag. Like he actually cares about winning. Like his background, like coming from Greece, like growing up poor.
Yeah.
Like he actually cares.
Mm-hmm.
Like he even went as far as sending his first. Remember, he sent his first check, to his parents back in their country. Like
Yeah, he's a real humble guy, man. Real humble guy.
yeah, he's a real humble guy, man. He really cares about winning. So I think he's doing.
So your prediction is Sixers in the East?
I think Sixers in the East if Giannis doesn't come back with a jump shot.
Okay.
But
Okay.
me personally, I think he is. So it's definitely going to be the Sixers and the Bucks for the ECF. I don't really think that Boston right now, just acquiring Kemba Walker, I don't really think they're going to do anything.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going. Like you're basically swapping out Kemba for Kyrie and just losing Al Horford. Like I don't think they're going to do anything, man. Maybe that's just me, but I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, the East is really weak right now, man. It's really weak. I mean, the Sixers look good, but if I see them in the finals, it's going to be boring. They're going to get smoked by anybody in the West.
Yeah, the East is looking really weak now.
Yeah.
Kawhi in the East was like the only like, along with Giannis, obviously he's a tank,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe Joel, like they were the only like, oh, and of course Kyrie, like. There's like only a handful of like really, really good players in the East.
Yeah.
And
they're all going to the West.
Like,
They're all going to the West.
yeah, they all went to the West. Like, I think that no matter what team comes out of the East, like it's going to be the West, obviously, because right now I got like Clippers or Lakers, they're still losing.
Oh, really?
It's yeah. You really think that Philadelphia is going to beat the Clippers or the Lakers in the finals?
Oh yeah, I thought you said the Lakers and the Clippers are losing. I said, whoa, what?
No.
Whether it is the Lakers or the Clippers, the Sixers are losing. Right?
Yeah. Either team, like, it's just like, why would you even watch the finals? Like, there's no point of even watching the finals because the West are so stacked.
Yeah. It should be a finals between the teams in the West. That's what it should be.
Basically the finals is just going to be the Western Conference finals, like the real finals.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point.
But I'm honestly interested to what?
Well, what do you say?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I'm honestly interested in seeing who comes out of the West though, because the West is looking strong.
It's wide open right now, man. It is wide open. Wide open, and we can't even forget about the Warriors. Like I think everybody, even myself, I'm not even thinking about the Warriors.
True.
Like I'm not even thinking about them because I mean all of these new teams coming up, you know, and you still gotta throw them into the mix.
Yeah, I forgot about the Warriors too. Like D'Angelo Russell is not one to play with either, and it's they basically have the same like big three, but just like, cause like, all right, let me ask you this one question. Do you think, like, for overall players, who's the better player, D'Angelo Russell or Klay Thompson?
I would probably have to say Klay Thompson, but
overall,
overall, I don't know. Well, they play different. They play different positions. I don't know. I don't know if I would really throw Klay Thompson as being worse than D'Angelo Russell. It's just that Klay Thompson plays for such a great team. I guess we wouldn't really know how Klay would play by himself, right? If he was the best player on that team, because D'Angelo, I mean, yes, the Brooklyn Nets were okay, but D'Angelo was obviously the best player on that team.
Obviously.
Yeah, but Klay, he was like the third or fourth best player on the team. So, and he still played great. But I mean, take away those players, I don't know if Klay Thompson will play the same way as D'Angelo. But I don't know. That's actually a good question. I don't really have a definitive answer for you.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned Klay Thompson is the third or fourth best person on the team, or
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
That just tells you how stacked the Warriors. Like, now that I think
Exactly.
about it, Klay Thompson being the fourth best on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how stacked that team has to be for that to actually, like,
It's
be
ridiculous,
something?
man.
Klay Thompson, fourth best.
It's ridiculous.
Damn. Man. Damn, that team was OP.
For real, man. Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, they're still a little overpowered, but I mean, without Klay there for a year, so.
Honestly, I think right now, Philly's more overpowered than the Warriors.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I
because
think
they're just monsters up front. I mean, nobody's gonna be able to stop them up front. It's just that their huge weakness is gonna be in the shooting game.
Oh yeah.
Very
That-
one-dimensional.
That would be a big question mark. And the Philly just acquired Josh Richardson too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really I haven't really seen him play yet
Yeah, I don't know.
because I don't watch. Yeah, I don't watch his games, so I don't know what to expect from him.
Yeah.
But-
All right, man. So, you got anything else to say before we get to next callers?
Yeah. One thing,
Mhm.
I pray for you Knicks fans out there. I pray for you.
Oh yeah, please. We need it. We need it. We need some kind of good
Yeah.
luck, man. Oh,
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith's video where he was crying.
oh man, that was just that was just.
It never
everything else
goes
was-
our way. It never goes our way.
It never does. And you look at how, I mean, RJ played a fantastic final game in the summer league. But I mean, he started off, and as soon as those first two games were played, and we saw how RJ played, I'm like, golly, I knew we got a bust, man. I knew it. I knew we missed out all these damn players, man. It's just the Knicks way, man. But yeah, man.
Damn, another crappy season for you Knicks fans.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, we're used to it. We're used to it.
You guys are going through it right now.
Yeah, man. All right, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate the thoughts and the prayers, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right, man.
Good luck.
Thanks for calling in.
All right. You're welcome, man.
All right,
Watch the stream now.
all right, man. See you.
All right, man. All right, see you, bye.
Oh man, it's the Entertainer Stand Up, New York Giants fans. Everybody, make sure you guys hit the sub button to my guy Chris, the Entertainer, talking sports, soon to be Sports Fury New York. I'm still extremely proud of him for doing that. Being that what he's done with his channel over the past year. I mean, he's about to be, I think, the first actual New York Giants-based channel to reach 10,000 subscribers. I thought Bad Dog was going to get there first, but Chris is going to get there first. Ron Effect kind of slowed down. He's so close, but yet so far. But everybody, make sure how are you not subscribed to the Entertainer Talking Sports at this point? Make sure you guys sub up to my man Chris. I appreciate that, man. He was definitely a huge inspiration for what this is right now. The whole OBS thing with this live call-in. I watch Chris's stuff all the time, and definitely inspired me to do that. I always wanted to make a type of call-in show. I just didn't know how to go about doing it. But definitely learning from my guy Chris. I'm able to pull it through. And I appreciate you joining in the chat, guys. But yeah, anybody else wants to call in, make sure you guys do that. I think I still have the number still up. I think so. I was like, Sports Critic, what's going on, man? Brian Rodriguez, what's going on? Also, oh crap. So whoever called in, can you call in again, please? Because I'm over here going through the chat and I'm scrolling, and as soon as you called, I hit the scroll button and it ignored. I don't know if this is the same caller. If not, I apologize. You literally came in at the wrong time. I literally scrolled and it hit ignore. All right, you are live. What's going on?
What is going on, Kid Blue?
Oh, if it isn't Chris the Entertainer talking sports. What's going
You got
on,
that
man?
right. No, I figured I'd give you a call. I'm at work. I probably have about 15 minutes to talk, but yeah, man, I'm excited to see you doing a call-in show now, huh?
Yeah, man. Listen. I've been dealing with this computer, and I finally was able to make it work. I mean, last call-in show we had so many calls and my computer crashed. I mean, so I'm just working with this computer right now, making sure it's all good. But definitely, you were a huge inspiration for doing this, man.
Oh no, man! Keep up the great work on your show. The video you made today was great. I loved it.
Appreciate it, man.
Now is this just like what I do with New York sports, or is it based around the Giants?
Oh, it's just all around sports talk, you know. Whatever, what anybody wants to talk about, we talk about, you know.
Very good stuff, man. So what do you think about? You said around 7-9 or 8-8 for our Giants this year, right?
Yes, sir. 7-9. I think that's pretty much. I think our ceiling is pretty much 8-8, but I'm gonna stick around 7-9.
I got us at 7-9 too. I'm going to disagree with you on the ceiling. I think if everything broke right, I think we could win 9 or 10 games, but I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting 6, 7, 8 wins. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for preseason. This to me is going to be the most exciting preseason
my gosh,
probably
yeah.
since I've been watching since Eli. Because a new quarterback, and you want to see what the guy does, and obviously all the eyes are going to be on him, and I'm excited to see what Daniel Jones can bring to the table.
Not only that, of course, Daniel Jones, he should be the main focus in the preseason, but look how much depth we have on this roster now. I mean, like the whole conversation about the Giants is the depth now. Like we're talking about the third wide receiver on the Giants. Like before Odell, that wasn't even a thing. Like we're just so excited to see the depth of this roster shape up. I'm excited for the preseason, man. Excited.
The third wide receiver is going to be really interesting. Obviously, you got Slayton, you've got Latimer, and you got Coleman. Who do you think is favored there? You think Coleman's the favorite?
I was just about to ask you the same question, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Coleman just because he's done more in the minicamp and OTA so far. He's been in really tough competition with Benny Fowler, but Darius Slayton is getting up there. He came out late. He struggled in the beginning, but he started to get first team reps. Due to some absences, I know Corey Coleman couldn't make it to some mini camps and OTAs or whatever, but Darius Slayton's really getting up there. But if I had to put my money down on it, I'd probably say Corey Coleman. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like they could definitely use a tall target, which Latimer I guess is the tallest of the three, but they also could use that explosive threat. So because they don't, Tate and Shepard aren't exactly like super explosive receivers.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do there. I'm hoping Slayton really shows out in training camp because I think he's got a really high upside. He's very explosive from everything I've read. But if I was betting on it, I would bet Corey Coleman.
Yeah, I mean, he's really shaped up too. And a big criticism I had with Corey Coleman in college is that he just didn't run routes. And that Baylor system was just run as fast as you can, just like Ole Miss, run as fast as you can and catch the ball. But you look at his highlights from OTAs and minicamp, he's running routes, he's catching fades. The guy's like 5'10", 5'11", and he's catching fades in the end zone. I mean, you can tell the guy's been working in the offseason, man. And the amount of work effort he's putting in.
Yeah, if they could get production out of that third wide receiver, they're going to have so many weapons this year. I think people are overlooking the wide receiver core when you factor in Ingram. I think Ingram could have a really big year.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what this offense does this year. I was a little surprised. I know Jabril Peppers is known to be a good kick returner, but as well as Coleman performed for us in that role last year, I'm surprised they just handed the job to Peppers.
That's weird. I mean, Corey Coleman was a huge highlight of the special teams last year towards the end of the season. And I think he could have been a huge threat for us, especially if he's just a number 3 or number 4 wide receiver. It's not like he's going to be on the field all the time. So he would always have, gas in the tank, and he would always be able to be a threat in the kick return game.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read, that Peppers is going to be the return guy. But we'll see. And then, what other battle are you... I mean, obviously everybody's talking about the cornerback.
Yeah.
With Sam Beal and DeAndre Baker. That's a popular one. Quarterback, I think, is pretty much set Eli Manning. Pass rush will be interesting to see what they do with the outside pass rusher. How many reps Carter gets as compared to the X-Man, and how they break that down. How do you think that'll break down?
As far as right now, I think going into it, I think Lorenzo is the top guy. I think Lorenzo Carter is listed as the weak side, and X-Man is on the strong. So I don't know how that's going to shape up.
What about Golden?
Oh, yeah, Golden. I think Golden is listed as a weak as well. I think of him as more as a strong guy, though. I think he's more of a strong side linebacker, but I'm looking at the rosters on OurLads.com, and he has him as a weak side, but they could be wrong too. But it's going to be extremely interesting who gets the reps, because Marcus Golden used to be a pretty good pass rusher. I mean, like 2015, 2016, he had like 12 and a half sacks, something like that. So he has the potential. Lorenzo Carter, of course, has the potential. And then you have to factor in the X-Man as well. I mean, it's not going to be top-notch edge rush. I don't think so. But if you ask me,
no, definitely not.
Yeah, I think X-Men will do well. But I said in my video today, I think Lorenzo Carter is going to wind up having the most sacks on the team. Probably the most tackles by edge rushers too.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, because Golden's obviously a veteran. If he's healthy, I think Golden could have a really good year for us, but we don't know if he's fully healthy. That's the thing. He's also used to this system, so we'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited for Lorenzo Carter, though, and I'm excited for, obviously, Dexter Lawrence, B.J. Hill.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I'm really excited about this defense this year. Not that I think they're going to be that good, but they're young, and I think they will be improved. I do think we're going to have a better defense than we had last year. And part of the reason I think they're going to be better, I think the offense is going to be much better at time of possession, and I think the defense will be fresher because of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. The offense, especially with the offensive line alone, that's just going to help the time of possession immensely. Saquon Barkley has already proven that he can do it on his own with a terrible offensive line. I mean, I don't even want to talk about our offensive line last year, but this year definitely should be a lot better. Adding in Kevin Zeitler. I know a lot of people aren't very high on Remmers, but he is an upgrade. Hopefully if Jalapeno.
Oh, you'd be an upgrade. Be an upgrade.
And then Jalapeno, and then the chemistry between Solder and Hernandez. I mean, Saquon's just gonna just run immensely right through the opposing defenses and take up all that time of possession. So it's gonna help the defense a lot. Yeah,
I think Saquon could be in for a big season. But real quick, I just want to transfer real quick to the Knicks. I heard you talking about R.J. Barrett.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the last couple of games or something. Like R.J. Barrett looked really good.
Yeah. I wasn't able to watch the last game, but I heard he was phenomenal. I heard that he actually looked pretty good. I was watching the first couple of games, and I was like, Lee, I hope we didn't get another bust, man.
Yeah. No, I like Barrett. He's got to work on his jump shot.
Yes.
Sure. But he has all the other skills that you want in a basketball player. I think Barrett's going to be really good. I actually really like what the Knicks did this offseason. I think they could compete in the back end of the Eastern Conference to try to get an 8th seed. I don't think they're going to be a pushover this year.
Yeah, for sure, especially that they missed out on some key free agents they wanted, like a Kyrie, like a Kevin Durant, and like a Zion in the draft. I think they actually did a pretty good job kind of improvising and getting all the talent they can. They signed Marcus Morris as well later on, pretty recently. And the roster right now looks pretty solid. I mean, it doesn't look like complete crap. I guess that's an improvement, right? I mean, it doesn't look like complete
and the guys they brought in, I think, fit the team very well in the sense that they brought in a lot of established veterans that I think the younger players need to learn under. So I think it's going to help the growth. Like a Marcus Morris, for example, I think is a perfect mentor for a guy like a Kevin Knox. And the same thing could be said for Humphrey Payton with our younger point guards, whether it be Ntilikina, whoever. But I think that the veteran Wayne Ellington's another veteran they brought in, Taj Gibson, another veteran they brought in, Reggie Bullock they signed today officially. So I like the veterans that they brought in. I think it's going to help the younger guys mature. So I really like what the Knicks did. And the best part about it is they're all on 1-year contracts, other than Julius Randle, which is a 2-year contract. So if it doesn't work out, you let him go and you go after another big guy next year.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. There are a bunch of guards that we have on this team. I mean, it's loaded. Do you think Ntilikina is the odd man out, or you think he's going to have a role on this team next year?
Yeah. The thing I'll say with Ntilikina, the one thing he is capable of playing the 3 for sure because of his height and his length. He's got like a 7-foot wingspan because of his long arms. But I mean, you look at that point guard position. They're paying $8 million a year to Elfrid Payton. He's going to play, and obviously Dennis Smith Jr.
Mm-hmm.
So Neil Aquina, if he's not going to be traded, which I agree with you, it's possible he is. Now I don't know what they'd get for him. If they're not going to get much, they might as well hold on to him and hope he can develop into something, just for his defensive potential alone. But the roster, the way it's currently constructed, I don't see him getting the majority of his minutes at the point guard. If he's going to get 15, 20 minutes a game, I see him getting some of it at the 2, some of it at the 3.
Yeah, that's
maybe
what I was
a little bit at
thinking,
the 1.
to play defense at the 3.
Yeah, I don't see him playing the majority of his minutes at the point guard because, like you said, they got a lot of point guards.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
to mention you got Alonzo Trier coming off the bench.
Oh yeah, you have to throw him in there too. Yeah, he didn't play any. He didn't play the majority of the summer games because he got hurt, right? Well, it wasn't a crazy injury. They're just taking precautions, right?
Yeah, it wasn't nothing serious. He sat out, I think, after the first game. But he's not a true point guard anyway. But it's just another guy in the backcourt that you have depth to. But I just want to give you a call. I got to head back to the shop. But I'm glad to see you doing a call-in show. I'm glad to see your channel's doing well and keep putting out some good content, man. And I definitely want to get. I don't know if you're into fantasy football. I'm thinking about doing a fantasy football show on my channel.
Oh, I
don't know yet though.
Yeah, I mean we'll see about that. I haven't done fantasy in a while, but every time I do get in a league, I get into it. So I haven't done fantasy in a while, but
yeah, we'll figure something out, man. But keep doing what you're doing on your channel, buddy.
I appreciate it, man. We'll definitely work with each other soon.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, man. See ya.
All right, later.
All right, guys. That was the entertainer talking sports. We got another call in here. This may be the last one. Maybe the last one. Let's see. What is going on? You're alive, man. What's going on?
Oh, man, what's up, man?
What's up? Who's this?
This is Kenneth. Remember the person on your comments that talked about Lorenzo Carter, if you would be surprised if he had 10 sacks?
Oh, yeah. Yep. What's going
That's
on?
me. Yeah, what's up? I like to talk about, like, the Giants and, like, how many wins, like, do you think the Giants are capable of, like, getting?
Are you thinking, like, the highest amount of wins they can get?
How many wins are the Giants going to get this season? 2019 season.
Right now, my like locked in answer right now was probably like 7 and 9. Chris, the caller just before me, said their ceiling could be around 9 to 10 games. I want to say that, I really do, but I really think their season is around 8 and 8. I really can't see this team just yet, just because of how much times they beat themselves up, how many times they defeat themselves. That I could have them having a winning season right now. But I think as of right now, the most games they can win is 8. I think 8 and 8 is pretty much the realistic type of record they'll have.
I agree. I feel like the Giants. They might. I feel like the Giants will want to have like a 2016 season.
I hope so.
Something close to that.
I hope so, with just a little bit more offense, though, because 2016 the offense was terrible. But I mean, if we can have that 2016 defense with I don't know, like a great offense. I'm talking like what was it that year we had a fantastic offense, like 2008 or something like that. If we could just have a balanced offense with a stopping defense, I mean, we should be fine. But we still have to build that team up and see what we get. But
and it's like, how do your thoughts on Daniel Jones like being drafted? I know, like, I watched one video of you. He was raging. Like, someone made a compilation of Giants fans raging, and
really?
I saw you in that video.
Yeah, I was definitely not happy.
Are you still mad about the pick?
Not as much right now. And not as much that we have X-Men now, O'Shane Ximines, because I wanted Josh Allen. But if you look at it, O'Shane Ximines is pretty much like a poor man's Josh Allen. So, I mean, I'll be okay with it. I still kind of like cringe about it when I think that we drafted Daniel Jones so high. But I mean, it is what it is right now. I have to stick with it, man. I have to stick with it. I have to see what we're gonna get from Daniel Jones. I can't bring him down. I can't be a negative presence. I have to, especially being in, basically a New York media now. I have to help build up the hype for Daniel Jones and see what we get from him. But as of right now, I'm standing behind him. We'll see what happens later on, though.
I feel like DeAndre Baker in the Sam Bill battle in the preseason and the training camp. I feel like Sam Bill, he's underrated. I feel like Sam Bill is more talented than DeAndre Baker. He's faster than him. I feel like both of them have big combines, and I feel like DeAndre Baker, he has long strides and he has long arms.
Oh yeah, he's a lanky corner, really good structure for a corner.
And I feel like Sam Bill, like if you watch his highlights, I feel like he's smarter than DeAndre Baker. Like I feel like he reads the routes. He reads the routes like better than DeAndre Baker. So,
oh really? I mean, we'll see what happens. That's an interesting take there. I'm excited to see this competition. Yeah. I'm excited to see it.
And I feel like the Giants secondary, if when Janoris Jenkins is gone and Sam Bill takes his place, I feel like next 2020 Sam Bill is going to be the second or first corner in the Giants. So I feel like if everyone's developed and reach their full potential, I feel like the Giants could have one of the best secondaries in the NFC East. Well, yeah, in the NFC East.
For sure,
and
man.
No, not NFC. NFC.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, they could be one of the youngest as well. The youngest secondaries. Yeah. I mean, they got a bunch of young guys: Jabril Peppers, Corey Ballentine, DeAndre Baker, Julian Love, this guy Grant Haley. I mean, a bunch of young guys on this secondary. So, I mean, not only could they be one of the best, they could be one of the youngest as well. So, but they are one of the youngest.
Yeah. And I feel like Jabril Peppers. I feel like Jabril Peppers might have at least like 4 sacks because Jabril Peppers might have 4 sacks this season. That's what I feel like. Jabril Peppers, he might be. I think he'll have a Pro Bowl season. Jabril Peppers, I think he will have a Pro Bowl season.
I completely agree with you, man. I think Jabril Peppers will have somewhere around 4 or 5 sacks next season. I don't think he's much of an interception machine. He's not a pick machine in the slightest. I think he has 3 interceptions in his collegiate and NFL career combined, 3 interceptions. So, as far as Jabril Peppers goes, he's a really good versatile safety that mostly plays in the box, and I'm excited to see what we get from him. I think he's gonna fit very well in this James Bettcher defense, and he should be around 3rd to 2nd in tackles this year. So that's what I'm expecting with how well he's doing right now. So I'm excited about Jabril Peppers.
And one last thing, let's see. Would you be surprised if the Giants make the playoffs? How far do you think they could go? Playoffs.
If they make the
you
playoffs,
think Eli still has one more Super Bowl run left in him?
I don't know about a Super Bowl run. I'm not sure about that because I really don't know if the Giants would be able to prepare for a Rams or the Saints or any other of those high-powered NFC teams. Even the teams in the NFC East, like if the Eagles or the Cowboys make it somehow there, So if they make it to the playoffs, I'm assuming that all their potential is tapped into, and they just play how well they should be playing, no injuries, things like that. If they make it to the playoffs, I could see them probably winning a wild card game by chance, maybe against the Packers right now, who don't have the best roster ahead of them. But I could see them making it to the championship round and probably losing there. But that's if the Giants really do, play their cards right and no injuries happen and no boneheaded moves happen. But if they make it to the playoffs, I could see probably championship.
And would you think
divisional?
Divisional. and you know, First Take. I watch First Take sometimes. I feel like Max, Stephen A. I think they're idiots. They don't know what they're talking about.
I'm completely with you,
Daniel
man.
Jones has to be a Hall of Famer. You draft if Ezekiel Elliott doesn't play for the Cowboys, I feel like the Giants have a shot of making winning the division. If Ezekiel, because he wants his contract, so
Yeah, I
he
mean,
skipped.
the Cowboys definitely would be impacted by not having Ezekiel Elliott there, but the Eagles are going to be a problem too.
Dak is a below average. Dak is a below average quarterback. I don't think he's a solid quarterback. I feel like he's like a Blake Bortles.
Oh, I don't know. I criticized Dak Prescott a lot. Someone says we're not winning the division. I had a lot of criticism on Dak Prescott over the past couple of years, but I don't think he's a great quarterback like the Cowboys thinks he is, but I don't think he's a terrible quarterback like everybody else thinks he is. I think he's just right around the middle. I just think he's an average quarterback, and you know, in this day and age, average quarterbacks are making big time money. So I'm not going to be surprised with the contract he gets. It's just how it is in the league now. But Dak Prescott is average to above average, in my opinion.
I remember week 2 when in the fourth quarter, every third down we couldn't get a stop. Like the secondary, horrible. I remember what's his name, Dante Dion, when he caused that with that penalty.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Week 2, I think.
Yeah.
BW. I feel like BW Webb was our best corner last year. Cause I think Janoris Jenkins, like, he quits. He's like Landon Collins. I remember.
Yeah,
in
he
2017.
quits.
Landon Collins in 2017 against the Rams. They got blown out, and then the fourth quarter, Landon Collins just quit. He just gave up on routes. I feel like Janoris Jenkins. I hope Janoris Jenkins won't be, how do I say it, petty, mad.
Yeah, I know.
Because Landon Collins leave. Because I feel like when everyone plays their best, when all of the team plays their best, like Janoris Jenkins, he's like I don't know. I think Janoris Jenkins, if all of the team plays good, he's gonna play good.
Yeah,
Janoris Jenkins,
yeah, for sure.
Janoris Jenkins still has potential to be like a all-pro corner. He just needs to.
Yeah,
everyone
he
around
could be
him
a great corner.
play.
If the team plays well, he could play well. You know.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, man.
Thanks.
I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for all the talking points.
All right, thank you. I was a little unprepared. That's why I was stuttering. And
It's all good, man. It's all good.
I was just making them call.
It's all good. We talked about a lot.
All right.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
No problem. All right, guys, and that is it for today. I'm gonna exit out of Skype. For Gman409, I apologize, my friend. I started this about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, something like that. But I'm gonna be wrapping this up now. Thank you guys for joining in. You guys are fantastic. Love you guys so much. I want to be able to do this more often, every Tuesday. I want to bring back the undrafted analyst. We'll see what happens. That's going to be a pre-recorded, what's the word I'm thinking of? What's the word? Podcast. Everybody's doing a damn podcast nowadays. So, that's going to be a pre-recorded one. So, and this will be the, where I get to talk to you guys live. So, that being said, guys, what do you think of UCF Jaguars tweet? It's fair, man. He has some really very valid points about Jalen Ramsey. I'm on UCF Jaguars side on that. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining in. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you leave. And you guys were awesome. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna try to exit this out like last time. Last time I didn't want to stop. But all right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next stream and video.